Hey, welcome to or back to Growth Rising. I'm Bird, and on this channel, we talk about all things dealing with astrology. And so today we're going to be going over Mars and Sagittarius. And to find out if you have Mars and Sagittarius, you can just go to Google and type in free birth chart calculator, do your date, birth, date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth, and you'll be able to see where you have Mars at. And so the only way that, yeah, well, the only you'll probably know what sign you have Mars in without knowing your time of birth, unless it's one of those days where Mars is changing signs. So you'll want to know if you have Mars in like Capricorn or Sagittarius. There's a difference. So yeah, if you have done that and you know that you have Mars and Sagittarius, or you know someone who has, a Sagittarius Mars, well, you're probably already aware that when these people get into a conflict or when they get angry, they want to do something, and not necessarily something to solve whatever the issue is, but more as just to do something else. If you and this person are going back and forth, or a conflict is arising around, I don't know, who's going to drive to the restaurant, they will go and start folding clothes because it's like, let me get anywhere except for here, like, let me just get up out of here because they don't want to deal with it. These people can also be impatient. So if y'all are arguing about whoever's going to drive to the restaurant, they might just leave you also and go to the restaurant by themselves because they don't want to wait on you to decide if you're going to drive or not. Just saying. Mars and Sagittarius is like, let's go ahead and get things done. Got to keep in mind, Sagittarius may be a mutable sign, but they're also a fire sign. So, yeah, and also these people can get active when they're angry. Like or even if they don't get active when they're angry, that's probably something that they could do, because they're angry and they need to get that anger out some kind of way. And then, fighting might not be the best way. So they might just want to work out, go for a walk, go and do something, because they're angry and they got to get all this adrenaline pumping some kind of way other than, just running away, maybe relieving some anger and then, solving the issue. But yeah, a Sagittarius Mars will also like to run from whatever conflict that is going on. So, like, let's say y'all are arguing about something and, like, you know what, let me just go book a trip to New York or something. Like, let me just get away from here because I don't like it and it's not serving me at the time. So, let me just leave. Not always the best thing to do, Sag Mars. Just saying, throwing it out there. It's okay to talk about stuff. It's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay. These people can start a lot of things, but they don't necessarily follow through with them. Kind of like their polarity, Gemini. But they have a lot of great ideas and they'll want to start these things like, hey, this is like a great idea. Let me go ahead and start this. Or, this looks pretty cool. Let me start that. Because they have so much optimism that it's like they only see the good about starting the things. And so, like, whenever they see something else that looks good, they're like, oh, yeah, let me go here. Or, oh, yeah, let me go there. What it's called, something shiny theory or glittery. I don't know. But it's called something where whenever you're paying attention to one thing, something else can get your attention. And now you want to pay attention to that because it's like they just want to start the things, but not necessarily follow through because they don't want to stay with it long term, especially if it's going to take a long time. Sag Mars are not very patient people. Like, Sagittarius placements are not very patient. These people can come off as very playful because, they still want to have a good time. Even if they're not going to be there for a long time, they still want to have a good time. These people do like friendly debates, but they can also take your disagreements personal. Yeah, so it can stay like light and fuzzy and happy go lucky and all that good stuff, but they could also start to get kind of defensive if you don't necessarily agree with them. They may think it's like light and fun and playful at first, and then it's more of, okay, you still disagreeing with me and you're not seeing it from my point of view. So now I'm finna get defensive and I'm finna start saying other stuff. And they could also be saying stuff to hurt your feelings because it's a Mars and Sagittarius and they can be very blunt and hurtful with their words and things that they do. Yeah. Also, these people are passionate about their beliefs, which is one reason why they'll take, disagreements personal because sometimes they can't separate themselves from their belief, so it's like if you don't agree with whatever I'm saying, you don't like me as a person. And it's not that, it's just that we see it from two different points of views, and that's okay. The world's not going to end because somebody doesn't agree with you. Sag Mars, just throwing it out there. Also, these people can be very much go with the flow. And also with Mars and Sagittarius, these people can go from chill to intense really quickly. They can be very lighthearted and then they can just get very intense. It's like two sides of a coin. Like which side are you going to bring out of them? So yeah, they like to have fun. They do. That's the light side, the having fun side. But they're very passionate about some things. And so if you are disagreeing with the things that they're passionate about, they're going to take it personal and then they will get intense and a bit disrespectful. But yeah, these people can go with the flow or they can be very blunt. They can even do both at the same time. They might not do it on purpose, but they can do the both of them at the same time. But also with a Sagittarius Mars, these people can be super blunt or they can kind of have it tamed just depending on where their Mercury placement is. So if they have like Mercury in, let's say like Libra or Cancer or just another sign that's not Sagittarius or Scorpio, Capricorn. Well, if they have their Mercury in a sign that kind of helps to tame their Mercury, they may not be as blunt, but if they have like Mars and Mercury, you know, both in Sagittarius, just know that they're going to probably be very blunt. They're not going to do it necessarily to hurt your feelings unless you're disagreeing with them. And then they're going to want to hurt your feelings. I know it's sad, but they can still be chill people once you agree with them. Also, these people can be very persuasive because like they want for you to see stuff from their point of view and it just makes them upset whenever you don't. These people are also turned on by stuff like play fighting and joking and, talking to somebody who's open minded. That's the type of stuff that they love. They love it whenever y'all can be honest and easygoing with one another. But they do not like when people beat around the bush. So if you want a Sagittarius Mars, let them know. Because if they start to like catch the hints, but it's up you trying to beat around the bush, that could definitely be something that turns them off. And they may not want to be, in that type of space with you. These people can be a bit selfish in bed. So it's like, I'm going to definitely get mine. We're going to get mine. You better get yours while we here. Because that's definitely what they want to make sure they do. They want to get their good feeling and go on about their business. And these are also the people who will be more like, let's act and, be grown now, and we could talk about it later. We don't have to, do all this talking and too much foreplay. Let's go ahead and get down to business because we know what we both came here for. So let's get what we got to get, and then we can chill afterwards. Because, that can be intense and chill. Like, let the intensity come first, and then y'all can chill. But yeah, so they can't be impatient, so they don't want to waste too much time. But yeah, so if you have a Sagittarius Mars, I want to know what resonated with. And I also want to know what you feel like I left out. So I do also hope that you have a good day. Have a good one.